Today we're going to tell you the top 10 things that we think you must do on board the MSC Divina. Let's go. Hey everyone, John here from Byte Size Cruises. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for coming to check us out. We're a travel agency just trying to give you the best information possible about cruising so that you can plan and go on an amazing cruise vacation. Today we're going to tell you the top things that we think you should do on board of the MSC Divina. We recently sailed on the Divina on a 4-day cruise that went to Nassau and to Ocean Key. This is a beautiful, what I would consider a mid-sized cruise ship, a little under 4,500 passengers. I know that sounds very large, but in today's world where the Oasis and world-class ships can hold almost 8,000 passengers, this is considered a medium-sized or a mid-sized ship. Today we're going to go through the top 10 things that we think you must do. Generally on a much larger ship, it is much easier to get to 10 things we think you should do. On this one, there's going to be a little bit of variability, and there are going to be a few things that cost a little bit extra and are not included in your cruise fare. So just consider that when you're checking all of these out. So first up, let's talk about one that does cost a little bit extra, and that is getting a specialty pizza made at La Cantina. So if you are wandering around on deck 7 and you come up to Butcher's Cut, right before Butcher's Cut, there is a beautiful bar there called La Cantina. They have some charcuterie there, and they also make specialty pizzas in a brick oven. So for anywhere between $7 and $10 for a pizza, you can get one of these specialty pizzas. I had the MSC style that had arugula on it, had prosciutto, grana padano cheese, amongst some other things. There are margarita pizzas, as well as any other variety of pizza that you would like to order. I do recommend it highly if you are looking something outside of the ordinary. You want to try something that's a little quiet and have something that's a little bit above what you would get in the buffet or at the main dining room. So that is number one. Number two, go to one of the wonderful production shows. Sometimes on a cruise ship, they bring in different acts, they have different variety shows, or they have a Broadway musical. On board of the Divina in the theater, they do 3 different production shows, which is really great considering I was on a 4-day cruise and I got to see 3 separate shows from a singing and dancing cast. I think that's pretty incredible. So I would recommend going to one of those shows. They do an ABBA show. They do a Rouge show, which is a bunch of different musicals, and then they do a pretty much what I would consider a circus show with aerialists, some strength people, trampolines, a bunch of other things, and I think it is well worth it. So go check out one of the amazing production shows. Number 3, if you go to the sports bar, which is a ton of fun. I think one of the things that MSC does really well is their sports bar environment. There are little booths in there where you can watch different sports on TV, hang out with your friends and family, and they do have a little bowling alley in there. It is not a traditional huge bowling alley. It is a smaller bowling alley with the small balls and the tinier pins, but I would recommend going and checking that out. Again, that does cost a little bit extra. It is $7. Next up, go to the snow party on the pool deck. So the snow party takes place in the afternoon on the day, one of the days that you're in port, obviously, or on a sea day if you are just sailing away and the weather happens to be beautiful. So if you go to the snow party, it is basically bubbles that they're blowing out in foamy soap, whatever it is. But it is a ton of fun. A lot of people go up to the deck. There is dancing. It's just a great environment, and it does take place during the day. So if you are an early riser and you don't like to stay up late for some of the theme parties, like the white party that doesn't start till 11 or 11:30 at night, this is a good option for you to check out during the day. Next up, number 5, spend a nice relaxing afternoon at the garden pool. The garden pool is at the very, very back of the ship. There is an infinity pool. There's a beautiful bar back there, and it tends to be a much quieter atmosphere than the standard pool or the indoor pool. Yep, there are 3 pools on board of the Divina, so I recommend spending some time at that garden pool back there. It is a wonderful, wonderful environment for you to check out. At this time, we would love to invite you to subscribe to our channel. Come along, check out some other videos. And once again, we're just here trying to give you some great information, so check it out and let us know if you have any questions at all. We're here and we're happy to help. Next up, number 6, for any of your sailaways from port, on the back of the ship, there are these little nooks on each deck on 6, 7, and 8. And you can go there and you can check out sail away from those little nooks. I find it to be an awesome spot for sail away, and nobody was back there. So go check that out. Next up at number 7, go to Sea Day Brunch. This is included in your cruise fare. It runs from like 8:30 in the morning till about 1:30 in the afternoon. You can try food from different countries. They have a different menu for each country. So for instance, you can get steak frites. You could do an Indian entree. You could do an American entree like steak and eggs. And you could try a bunch of different things. So I highly recommend it. It is really nice. It is a relaxing way to spend your sea day. Next up, another one that's going to cost you a little bit of money, and that is Butcher's Cut. It is one of the 2 specialty dining restaurants on board, the other being Galaxy Sushi. Butcher's Cut is a traditional steakhouse, and the service and the food there I thought was spectacular. So if you love to have a good steak, or even if you want some seafood, go check out Butcher's Cut. 2 more here. Number 9, this is one that I generally don't recommend. I think sometimes I just forget. But if you go to the future cruise desk during your cruise and you book another cruise, as we all know, cruising gets a little addictive. If you go on there and you book another cruise, not only is your deposit lower, but you will find that you will receive an onboard credit, and sometimes that onboard credit is very good. You can also move that cruise around as long as it's before final payment, so don't feel like you're locked in that you have to book it. Pick something that you think you're going to go on, and then you can move it around. Also, don't worry if you have a travel agent, they get credit for that cruise that you book at the future cruise decks. So there's nothing to worry about, just enjoy yourself. And then last but not least, I would say go enjoy trivia or a game or anything small that's going on in the black and white lounge. This is at the very back of the ship as well. And this is a really fun spot. This is one of my favorite venues on mid-sized ships. I love that they have like a secondary lounge or a venue for different things that is not the theater and not a tiny little space. It's a nice lounge. They have trivia in there. They have the Love and Marriage show in there, and they have music in there at night. So go spend some time there. If you have any others that you think you should do on board of the Divina, please drop a comment below. If you have any questions at all about the Divina, let us know. We'd happy to help you. We're happy to help you book your next cruise on board the Divina. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Happy cruising. Bye.